you know, philanthropy, and that kind of stuff, the good stuff, the stuff that I'm really good at describing. It works in theory, but you know how people are. Jesus is like communism. It works in theory, but it doesn't really. No, the point is, okay, so here's the thing. We we should look out for one another, should be nice to each other, kind, okay, that kind of stuff. Why does it sound like it's really difficult? I'm evil. Maybe not, but ah, this is going to be an outtake. Hi, I'm Teddy Neptune, and today we are going to celebrate the birthday of Jesus Christ. Happy birthday, Jesus. I am not a Christian myself, although I grew up in a yet predominantly Christian country. I say yet because people are becoming more and more agnostic and atheistic, which to me is not a big deal or a problem at all. Just important to remind people what Christmas is about, because here's the thing, it doesn't have to be a Christian thing, okay? I personally believe that there was a person named Jesus. So Jesus of Nazareth, or not sure if born in Bethlehem or Nazareth, but a Jewish carpenter in the Roman occupied area, which would be today Israel, near the Egyptian border. This person preached or taught kindness, tolerance, compassion, forgiveness, reconciliation, and philanthropy. And this should not be exclusively Christian. And you can find many examples of those in other religions too. And since Jesus was also a Jew, Judaism basically has him in a certain way, although not mentioned. And Islam does mention him, and he is a prophet, not a divine being like in Christianity. But it doesn't really matter. What really matters is what he said, his beliefs, his values. And yeah, Christmas has become more of a tradition, and it's almost more like a holiday rather than really a duty or something. And of course, it's good for business. Let's not forget that. But at the end of the day, it's about Jesus Christ's teachings. And if not possible to do it every day of the year, at least these days of the year, try to live by those as a present, as a birthday gift to Jesus Christ. I know that this video is not going to feed the poor, give shelter to the homeless, or cure the sick. I know that. And I know that most of you are just here because of my reactions. I know that. And I am going to do my reactions, of course. Just like last year, a Tarja Turunen cover of a known Christmas song. I of course also chose her because I'm kind of a fanboy, and she happens to be the lead singer, a former lead singer of one of my favorite bands. Perhaps my favorite metal band, symphonic metal band at least, So, Feliz Navidad by Tarja Turunen. Okay, that's going to be the first reaction of today. And let's go. Yeah. Okay. Now, I know it has just started, I know, but I wanted to say this. It's very dark. In a way, it is black and white. Her face is pale, but everything else, except for her face and the wall, just very dark. And she did the same in the other song that I reacted to last year. Okay, so that it has some kind of gothic, dark vibe, which I think is cool. It looks kind of sad.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad.
I like her pronunciation.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad.
Okay, it is not sad. It looked a little sad because she looked down first, but first of all, that smile, okay, that kind of changed a lot. That one smile, but also it is more hopeful. I would say it sounds somewhat inspirational, and as I said before, I like the pronunciation. I mean, I don't speak Spanish, not really. I understand it, but it sounds nice the way she speaks. But she speaks a couple of languages. She also speaks German. I mean, uh,
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
nice.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
Yo, okay. I know I should stop for also because of copyrights reasons, and of course because I want to contribute. Um, there isn't really much I can say, to be honest. Okay. Um, yeah. It's just really good. I like the sound of it, okay? I mean, her voice is awesome. I mean, obviously, uh, they didn't just, have her as the front singer of Nightwish just for the fun, because, they have some standard. And this is, if you can sing like her, I think you are going to be a superstar. Or at least you have the potential for that because that is awesome.
Prospero
I know I'm a fanboy.
y
Okay.
felicidad. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Yo, I'm still trying to um, find some kind of association, okay? with the theme that is basically going on here, because usually, okay, so maybe I'm just stupid or something. Okay, usually it's always, jingle bells and everyone is happy, and there's this fat guy in a red suit just dancing around and something like that. You know what I mean? And everything is just candy and uh, cotton candy themed. You know what I mean? And then you have this, which is which looks kind of dark, perhaps even somewhat scary. Okay, because of the black and white and the dark furniture and the shadows and the fact that it's somewhat slower. But I have to say it is very well done, the way it built up from what to me gave the impression of something sad to be something very hopeful and inspirational. Okay, I like that a lot. Okay, that is nice. Very nice.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Yo, the choir. I don't know if you heard it, but there was it was somewhat subtle, but it was there, and the music getting loud. Um, I didn't really pay attention to the instruments. Okay, now I know what you're going to say, Teddy Neptune. You're just a stan, you're a fanboy, but I was just too distracted by her. Okay, yo, I know.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
Nice. Okay, let me say this. Okay, obviously I liked it, but I did listen when after I mentioned it. So you had those bells, the typical bells that you hear in many Christmas, but also Christian songs as well, because they remind you of the church bells, of course. Then you had the choir, of course. That's the most obvious thing, I guess. Oh, and the kettle drums, I believe. I'm not sure if they were kettle drums or whatever type of drums, but there was some kind of percussion, of course, as well. And that's what gave it this inspirational thing too. It reminds you of this almost like a military parade. Okay, so there's something heroic almost. Yeah, almost heroic. And if you pair this with the choir and her voice becoming louder and louder, and then everything together, it's just pure epicness, yo. Yo. Anyway, yeah, not bad at all. Alright, the second reaction is not a song. Okay, just to warn you, it's not about a song, it's about Christmas, about the whole thing with the reconciliation, which I mentioned earlier, and their compassion and also, kindness. Because the second reaction is about the Christmas truce. For those who do not know, during World War One, there was a series of truce near, around, and of course on the 24th of December 1914. 1914. That was over 100 years ago, and that was at the front. So people who should be killing each other started to get together in friendship. There was even a football match, at least one, between Germany and England, between the soldiers, of course, not the actual sports teams. And it was not tolerated by high command, of course, but the soldiers, they didn't really have much against each other except that they were on opposing sides. That was the only reason they fought. So they got together. So this is not just an excuse to do some history stuff or watch something related to war, but it's actually about Christmas. Okay, trust me. Bro, trust me. No, but this happened between Germans and the British, but also between Germans and the French and Belgians. Not to the same degree as, between Germans and the British, because you have to keep in mind that the French and the Belgians, they were fighting on their own soil, so they had more to lose. For them it was more of an existential thing too, and more pressure from back home. So don't want to be seen being friends with the enemies, if you understand. It also happened to some extent along the front lines where the Austrians or the Ottomans were fighting the Russians too, but most famous between the Germans and the British. Keep in mind that the British and the Germans didn't really have that much hostility as a people. I mean, also becomes important later in the Second World War, where the Western Front is much calmer compared to, relatively speaking, compared to the Eastern Front and the Pacific War, which was just really messed up. So, the Sainsbury ad, the Christmas ad of 2014, so 6 years ago already, at the anniversary of the Christmas truce that actually happened. I don't know too much about it. I'm not a historian either, but I did some research into this. This is why I know some stuff. So Sainsbury is like the British version of Aldi. So a supermarket, a grocery chain. Anyway, let's start. Oh, and there's a chance I might stop more frequently than I do during the song reactions, because songs need to be listened to. Here, things can happen quickly, and I might pause within seconds. I know you are not here for endless pauses, I know. And it's 3 minutes and 40 seconds, almost 4 minutes long. So just keep that in mind, okay? Get yourself some gingerbread and tea and whatever. What is Glühwein in English? Hardtack.
Okay.
Hard biscuits.
Nein.
Right. Chocolate used to be more special back then. Not everyone had it. Okay, yeah, so I don't know how often that happened, but it did happen to some extent. They did sing together, Christmas carols. I mean, obviously this is somewhat fictitious. I mean, we don't know exactly how it started, but I like the way that they, had you had the German trench singing Stille Nacht, and then you had the British singing Silent Night. And it's very simple, because the songs are more or less the same, really. I don't know which one was first. I I could be wrong, but I think the German version was earlier, at least, with lyrics or with the words to it. I don't know who composed it first. Yeah. Anyway, continue. Let's continue. Mustache. For a moment, I swear, when I heard this whistling of the wind, for a moment I thought it was some kind of a shell being shot and it's whistling because of the air friction or something like that in my head. I don't know, maybe I have PTSD from nothing. Too much Company of Heroes or something. Yo. Yeah.
Ein Berichter kommt! Ein Berichter kommt!
Jim?
Jim, don't do it!
Halt! Er ist nicht bewaffnet!
Okay, I am glad they didn't just put some British or American person with a strong accent in German uniforms and do it like they did with, Die Hard. Oh, Christmas film, Christmas movie. Well, it depends on whether you consider it Christmas or not. That I appreciate, okay? Er ist nicht bewaffnet. I didn't hear any weird accent or something, if it were some kind of Hollywood, er ist nicht bewaffnet, or something like that would be really dumb.
Nein, Otto!
My name is Jim.
Mein Name ist Otto.
Pleased to meet you, Otto.
Freut mich.
You know what? You just heard how similar English and German actually are. If you ignore the accent, and obviously there are some changes, there are also some false friends too because of how languages change over time, but the sentence, my name is Jim, mein Name ist Otto, I mean, it's almost identical. You have to be a moron to not hear how similar they are. Okay, if you didn't hear it, I'm sorry. I am a moron for assuming too much. But it is very similar. I also insulted people, although this video is in the name of Christ. I am a moron. Anyway, yeah, these young men, most of them are very young men, boys almost. They have much more in common than they knew. Yeah.
Rose, she's called.
Ist schön. Ist schön. Danke.
Happy Christmas.
So it's back to business as usual again. Yeah. See, this is so weird, So they had such a great time, okay, and then because some older dude in a prestigious uniform tells them to, they have to go back to the trenches, which, by the way, are also a problem on their own because, there were ways to, avoid drowning because of rain, but you still had the smell, dead people had to be removed. I know it's very downer a topic. I know. I'm just talking briefly. All of that trouble, and then you also had to kill each other. But I also heard that they did indeed play football. Now I'd like to believe that Germany won, but I don't know. Okay, just throwing it out there. And they also had those moments where someone who was a barber would shave or give a haircut to someone who is from the other side, and they would exchange things, some gadgets or parts of the uniform which they could give away or something like that. Yeah, those things. Nice.
Frohe Weihnachten.
If you ask me, Otto had the better deal. I know. Nice. Okay, it almost looks like... No, it can't be. Okay, for the moment I thought maybe they had people who actually lived back then. But it makes no sense because this guy, even if he were a veteran, he would have been over 100 years old. And he would have been over 116 years old because he had to have been 16 in order to be drafted in the first place, and then 100 years later in 2014 he would have talked about it. It's very unlikely. So probably not, and he doesn't look like he was close to death. I mean, not that old, sorry. Again, I know I have this, it's the devil inside of me. I mean, I shouldn't say this on Christmas. That's it. Yeah, I have to say this, I like this ad, okay? I know it's, of course, it's for their business, they want to sell stuff, I know, but you can still appreciate when an ad is done well, and on top of making a good impression and convincing people to spend their money on your products and not the products of this other guy. If you also on top of that remind people of what good people can do to each other, regardless of the circumstances, that is still a bonus and a good thing. I like that. I appreciate that. Very nice. Now, 2 things I want to say before I end this. First of all, the reason I'm glad I took this ad and not some generic dancing and singing next to a pine tree kind of video as a reaction is because if this ad, which is inspired by real events, can debunk this mindset that certain conflicts have too deep roots, are too complex, too far gone, too hostile, whatever, then if this can debunk it, then it's the perfect motivation perhaps for people who live in certain parts of the world. And Christmas is, for Jesus Christ, who was born in the Holy Land. So maybe Israel and Palestine can somehow solve the issue at some point. Who knows? Yeah, and the other thing is, I really believe Otto got the better deal. Okay, chocolate. Listen, I like chocolate, okay? I am a bit biased, but if I really have to choose between chocolate and hardtack, of course I take the chocolate. I know it's about the gesture, it's about the thought that counts, I know. But I like chocolate, that's why I'm so brown. That was Teddy Neptune 2020. You can quote me that. Yo. thank you for watching and have a nice day. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy birthday, Jesus, and yeah, stay safe, stay positive, but not COVID-19 positive.